Alright guys, it's Monday and it's time to get back into videoing some stuff. I've got this car right here and this car right here. Trying to do some stuff to both of them. Let's get into this video. Okay, I should mention that probably the biggest reason why we haven't been able to finish doing more dyno testing on the Z earlier was simply because the fuel system was not hanging. We have big injectors in the car, and then we did some experimenting on different fuel pumps in the tank because I just wanted to know like the cheapest, smallest pump, middle of the road, and most expensive, and kind of decide which one was most effective so that when we get done with this I can tell you guys what worked so you don't have to waste any time doing anything that doesn't work. Okay, real quick, I thought I might just explain digital boost controllers, at least the way that I usually use them. This is an old boost controller, but it still basically works the same way as all the new ones. This controller has an internal map sensor that reads boost, and it controls what they called a PWM boost control solenoid. So this is the control solenoid. They all pretty much look the same. You can buy like generic versions of this depending on your ECU and just run different things, but basically this little guy clicks and sends pressure out to a different direction. So then when we go back to the turbos, you'll notice that there's a boost port on the bottom of the wastegate diaphragm and on the top of the wastegate diaphragm. And the bottom of the wastegate diaphragm will open when you put boost to it at the spring pressure. So if you put 10 psi springs, it should, as soon as you make 10 psi with your turbo, it should push it open. Now, if you want to do boost control, you run your PWM solenoid back to the top of the gates, and as you're getting into like 1 or 2 psi, it starts putting boost to the top of the gate to not allow the diaphragm to move and open. That way, it'll start regulating it by a percentage as you go up. So it like allows for more force than the spring can handle to hold the gate closed. If that makes sense. It's probably the worst way to explain it. Basically, when you put boost to the bottom, it opens at spring pressure. When you put boost to the top, it starts to go higher than spring pressure because now you're helping the spring. So, does that make sense? Okay, anyway, on to other things. I gotta run the vacuum line all the way from the top of the wastegates up to that control solenoid, and then we should be able to fire it up, set up all the parameters on the boost controller, do a test to make sure that we have zero change at zero duty cycle, and then start adding duty cycle and going up in horsepower. Okay, I got the boost control solenoid all wired up and it's sitting in here for testing. And I don't know if you guys watch the Hoonigans, but I do, they're pretty funny. They ran a boost pipe over the entire car. And this is not exactly like a whole boost pipe, but it is kind of funny that it ran the vacuum line all the way over and then down to the wastegates, for boost control. Obviously, I'll reroute that later. But for now, I just really wanted to get on, I'm already on the dyno. I don't want to take it off and route it into the car right now. So we'll route it later, but for now, we're going to test it with it running over the car. Okay, so on the Panda car, I just got off the dyno again, and basically, you guys know we have the two different turbos. We have the smaller 50 trims and a little bit bigger 57 trims, and so we've been testing like both turbos. So we just switched back again from the small ones to the big ones, because on the small ones, we would rail the boost controller like all the way out, and what would happen is it would continue to make torque early, like more and more and more torque, and like no matter what, like after a certain point the efficiency would just fall off. So we couldn't actually make it even to like 400 on those two turbos. It could be something to do with rear mount turboing. I feel like they should make more. I'm not really sure what's going on there. But the bigger ones, they kind of like seem to do exactly what you'd think they would. They spool later, and they make a little bit less boost early and a little bit less torque and horsepower early, and then right at like about 6,000 RPM or 5,500 RPM, somewhere in there, they start to crazy climb over the other turbos. The other turbos kind of like max out and nose off, and then these ones, they basically just keep shooting up. So as you can see, we only got the new ones back in and revved to about 6,500, and then the mass airflow sensor hits 5 volts. So until we get bigger mass airflow sensors or figure something else out, we're stuck right there. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to quickly slam in these motor mounts on Jari's car. This is kind of the last thing that we wanted to do before he goes turbo. I don't know if you guys have ever driven an RSX, but after a certain amount of miles, the motor mounts start to get like real sloppy, and you can replace them with other stock ones, and then every certain amount of miles they just get sloppy again. And if you drive as bad as Jari does, just banging gears constantly, you're going to be going through motor mounts quite a bit, so stock just doesn't work. Luckily we were good enough to get a set of motor mounts from Hasport, and I really love these guys. They ship to us super fast, they always give us a good deal, and I know that their stuff's going to work, which is great. Anyway, I'm going to slap these in really quick, and we'll give you a review. Jari's been driving the car, geez Louise, like more than a year now, so he's pretty familiar with how it feels now, and he can kind of give us an idea of what it feels like after we get these mounts in. Alright man, you ready to put these mounts in?
Yes sir.
Let's do this. Okay, we're about to go drive around in Jari's car and test out the motor mounts, see how they are, but it's kind of funny. He bought these hood latches, and this is the original kind off of my actual race car. These ones were much more expensive. These are the real brand, and they still work like amazing. This is like the fake one, and not only do they not work, but the latch gets stuck all the time. He has to go get a screwdriver and dig it out. So if you're ever gonna buy this style hood latch, buy the real ones, like the little bit more expensive ones, because the fake ones, like, they literally don't work. The spring doesn't work well, everything jams up. They worked for like a week and then started working like crap.
Damn.
It's right there, it's right there. Jeez Louise. That is a pain. It feels already more solid.
Yeah, it's solid and
completely different.
And it's not as much vibration as I thought.
It's kind of like the same, right? Like the vibration's not worse.
It actually feels a little bit less.
Less maybe because the other ones were so blown out. Woo. Remember how it used to clunk anytime you like shifted funny?
Yeah, usually I adjust for that.
You usually shift differently because your motor was moving.
Yeah, that's
so
why
much.
we just bogged like that, because I was holding the clutch a little bit to let the engine.
Oh, we're so ghetto, but I mean, we were basically waiting just to get the right mounts because it's worth the extra. There's a lot of knockoff mounts, and we haven't had very good luck with the knockoff ones, so we just kind of drove it as long as we could until we saved up to get back.
And most people that drive RSXs will know too, and they always tell you that it feels like these engines just eat up at the stock OEM motor mounts right away. So
But these ones were certainly well on their way to being broke out when we got them.
Yeah, can you put on the steering wheel, see if it shows it on the camera? Like usually when we stop like that,
Oh yeah.
as soon as you put a load on it, it'll stop for a second, but then it's gonna start right back.
That's kind of more like almost like power steering or the idle. Obviously a low idle will make it.
Yeah, that's the
You'll
low
vibrate.
idle vibration that you see as soon as we get stopped. It's just at idle, and it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad at all.
But I like it. It feels so much better.
The driving crispness is definitely worth the vibration, the little bit of vibration.
It's gonna take you a while to get used to that.
You're gonna have to learn how to drive again.
All over again.
This guy's like hanging on the red line.
I have a sticker on my car without having a gearhead one. Actually, this is a different one.
What
Gotta
is it?
match them up. I probably should have put this one.
Yeah, it's all good. You can put that one on the other side.
I don't want to match. You know, I'm with symmetry.
Oh, you have like two of each sticker?
Yeah, they're two different stickers.
Those are so cool. You made the cape blue just because you like blue better?
Yeah, I don't like blue. I didn't like the other one.
Yeah, fair enough. It might not come off if we do the car wash. Gotta take advantage of the fact that nobody's in the car wash right now.
There is somebody right now.
Oh, we just got
They just pulled in
swooped.
though.
For the second? Car wash didn't exactly kill it on the on the rims. I think we still gotta clean them just a little bit more. But the rest of the car looks a little cleaner than it was, and the stickers didn't come off. So we're pretty happy about that. All right, guys, it's the next day, and I was thinking about the dilemma with the Panda car, and me and Steve were brainstorming, and we came up with like the most ridiculous idea. It's so ridiculous, in fact, that I don't even want to tell you what we're gonna try, because I feel like if I was the internet, I'd probably make memes and troll myself about this crazy idea. But we're kind of out of options. I want to try something new, so we're gonna try this at least until we get new mass airflow sensors and see how it goes. Oh boy, hang tight. Let's see what this does. Okay, really quick before we get started, we got a customer with a 2004 G35. It's kind of old, but it's still in really good shape, and he just bought it, and it had some like kind of supporting mods on it, but no tune. And he says it throws the check engine light like kind of all the time.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Basically every couple miles they'll drive and have to re-clear the light. It gets pretty annoying. I was just gonna tell you guys, if you have one of these cars and you don't have a tune on it, and you have like intake, exhaust, plenums, throttle bodies, any of the above, you're probably gonna throw a check engine light, because simply the mass airflow sensor and your overall scaling is gonna be off. Because basically it seems like with these Nissan cars, if the air fuel ratio doesn't match on the target to what you're seeing on the log, it's just gonna throw a check engine light. So step one, match the air fuel targets. The car will drive a lot better and you'll stop throwing lights. All right, I'm gonna go fix this car real quick. All plugged in. Okay, we did a little driving around and sorted out a few things with this fuel trim, and now the car feels, I don't know, what do you think?
It feels amazing. It feels like it's brand new. It feels like $1 million.
Yeah, a lot of times these cars, when they're out of fuel trim, they just feel like slow and sluggish, and they have no torque in the mid-range. And you fix a few things real quick, even without the dyno, just basic stuff, just to get it back to how it was supposed to be stock, and then they run just a ton better. So anyway, he'll be back later for a dyno tune, but for now...
Yeah, it's definitely worth the money. If you get your tax returns, go to your tuner.
Oh yeah, call your
Get the
tuner and
stuff.
get a tune, it's good.
Yep. You tighten this part?
I haven't tightened it all the way up.
Baby turbo, bigger turbo, baby turbo, bigger turbo. Okay, it's super loud because I've got the dyno and the fans and everything running, but we are now making our first couple pulls with one small turbo and one big turbo, and surprisingly it fixes both problems. It's actually spooling very, very similar, like maybe 300 RPM different than having both small, but it's carrying way past like nearly equal to the big turbos on the upper end. So we might be onto something. We might not actually be so crazy. We're gonna make another pull right now, and then let's look at the dyno graph. Okay, so the car is doing a lot better with the 2 mixed turbos. The only problem is we're still maxing out the mass airflow sensor. When I turn the boost duty all the way down, we don't hit 5 volts, which is the very end of the sensor capability, until a little after 6,700 RPM. You kind of see it just like noses over as if fueling doesn't really work well when the mass airflow sensor maxes out. So we are definitely on to something. I'm pretty excited. And so next up, let's remedy these maxed out mass airflow sensors, and we'll get back on the dyno again, and we'll keep you guys updated. I think right now I'm gonna go drive it. Like, that's a good amount of torque. I think that thing will be fun. I reset the max boost so we can see what it is after we get on it a little bit. Digging through the sticker bin? Yes. Yeah.
Start from the lower left. Yeah, there you go. The card's to the right of me too, by the way.
There you go.
I needed this one on here though. Like this was my favorite.
We just did a revision, and the new revisions for the t-shirts. So
Oh, this is changing?
yeah, well, it's similar. We just have the little subscribe logo here, and then everything fits nice on like a black shirt.
Yeah.
So that
I think this
should be done like this week, actually. We already have shirts in stock, so. Alright guys, it's getting late. I guess we'll go ahead and end this video here. Yeah, I'm kind of happy of where we're at. Hi, Jonathan. On the Panda car, I think it's running about the best it ever has. We're getting the spool time of the small turbos, and we're getting the horsepower of the bigger turbos. So as crazy of an idea as that was, it actually worked quite well. And expect to see us back here like pretty quick. We're doing some stuff to the mass airflow sensors tomorrow, and if that works, we'll be back on the dyno pretty soon. So, all right, thanks for joining in. We'll see you guys next time.